Hey, what's up? This is Dan or DMAD96 here, and welcome back to our F1 Manager career mode with Stewart GP. And in today's episode, we will be doing the British Grand Prix, my home Grand Prix, and the team's home Grand Prix. Should be a good one. Last time out in France, we unfortunately just missed out on the points with 7th place, but Eddie Irvine took the win. The first non-McLaren to win a race this season. Could we see a change? Could more drivers win races from different teams? We'll have to find out in the race soon, but yeah, it's the British Grand Prix, a track that I like, and hopefully we can do well here. Obviously we didn't do so well in France. This one I think is a similar track to France, so we're probably going to get a similar result, but hopefully we can actually score some points. Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting race, I feel. A quick recap on the Drivers' Championship. Michael Schumacher did close into Mika Hakkinen, but only by a few points, so he's now 19 points behind the reigning champion, and at the minute I still think Hakkinen's probably going to win the title this year. We're in third still, way off Michael Schumacher. Despite Johnny Herbert not actually scoring points in France, Barrichello did drop a position, or actually quite a few, to Ralf Schumacher and Eddie Irvine. So it's not looking good for Rubens Barrichello at the minute. But David Coulthard is there in 6th position. He is retired from every single race but the first round. It's going to be an interesting race, I feel. We've still got a few drivers yet to score, but they're the usual suspects for Badera, Diniz, Janae, De La Rosa, Takagi, Ricardo Zonta. So that's for Drivers' Championship standings. In the Constructors' Championship, nothing really changing at all. We stay in 3rd position despite neither driver scoring points, but Jordan didn't score points as well. And we've got to watch out for Williams. They are catching up. They are finding their form, it seems, as McLaren still lead by quite a way from Ferrari despite their race win they got. Ferrari closing in just a little bit. And the Team Managers Championship, John Tott now up to 3rd position, ahead of Ron Dennis. We still lead by a hell of a gap. And then you have Frank Williams also gaining as well. He's moved from last to 3rd last now. Tom Walkinshaw takes last 4 arrows, and Peter Sauber just ahead. So now it's time for the news report. However, I'm going to start things off with announcing my driver lineup for next year. So in Canada we announced our personnel, our staff, that's our technical director, the chief designer, the commercial manager. The last episode we announced our suppliers, the engines, brakes and electronics. And now it's time for the big announcement. Who will drive for Stewart GP next season? So driver number 1, Rubens Barrichello. He's finished 3 races this year, 2 podium finishes. He's done an okay job for us this year. Next year I want to do better. We've got Mercedes-Benz engines, Hakkinen and Schumacher staying in Formula 1. So I decided to choose someone that I know will be able to keep up to them. And that is Jacques Villeneuve, the BAR driver. I had plans on choosing him since the start of the season. I wanted to see what Jacques Villeneuve's pace was like in this game because he's always driven for a crap team. So that's why I've chosen Jacques Villeneuve as my driver number 1. Hoping that he can actually bring the challenge to Ferrari and McLaren despite them having the quicker car. McLaren obviously will have the worst engines. We've got the best engine out of all of them. It could be close next year if Jacques Villeneuve performs well. So that's why he is my driver number 1. Now for my driver number 2. I've got to say Johnny Herbert. He's been impressive this year. 3 podium finishes. Has always been a consistent point scorer for us. 2 4th place at the start of the season, then a 2nd and a 3rd, and we're collecting that 5th in Canada as well. I would have loved to keep him on for another year, but I just couldn't, unfortunately. I needed a better driver than him. I wanted a good driver too. I wanted someone who was fast as well, someone who didn't cost as much as Jacques Villeneuve. My driver number 2 is actually Heinz-Harald Frentzen. So yeah, he costs about half less what Jacques Villeneuve cost. He cost 12.5 million. Frentzen just under 6. So it is a very expensive lineup, which is what I was worried about, which is why I had to cut a few costs on some certain people in my team. Yeah, we've got a very strong driver lineup, and that is what matters next year. Heinz-Harald Frentzen, Jordan driver. Reason why I chose him actually was because, well, in the real life 1999 season, he was probably the best driver that year. With Jordan winning 2 races, could challenge for the world title. I think we could do well next year with these two drivers, Heinz Alfredson could be challenging a fair. We never know really. But yeah, Heinz Alfredson and Jack Villeneuve, two former Williams teammates, are reuniting again next year. They teammates in 1997. Jack Villeneuve was the better driver that year. But Heinz Alfredson could be a worthy challenger, I think. And now it's time for our test driver. And I've already said test drivers don't really matter apart from the first pre-season test. Toranosuke is our current test driver. He's decent, but I had to cut some costs. So I've signed Owen Green. He is a EA employee. And I think I've mentioned this before, EA employees are practically just drivers with very low stats. And they have very low annual salary as well, so 9,500. That's the reason why I sent Owen Green. He's cheap, and I don't even have to use him really, only for the first test of the season. So that's my driver lineup really for next year. I'm actually just going to give a quick recap of all of them. There it is there. Rory Byrne as the chief designer, technical director is Gary Anderson, the commercial manager David Warren. And our drivers are Jack Villeneuve, Heinz Alfredson and Owen Green. So that's been our announcements. Now it's time to look at the rest of the announcements as we move on to the news report. We kick off the news report this week with 4 driver announcements. John Lacey joins the Arrows team as driver number 1. Olivier Panis makes a surprise move to Minardi to partner up with Marc Genet. Stewart driver Johnny Herbert makes the switch to Williams, whilst Ferrari driver and previous race winner Eddie Irvine is announced as Heinz Alfredson's replacement after the German's recent appointment with Stewart GP. Elsewhere, Jordan have also signed Sauber commercial manager Marco Feser and Ferrari technical director Ross Brawn. Ferrari responds with McLaren's Adrian Newey moving from the defending champions. Whilst BAR have managed to keep Magneti Morelli Electronics, due to the lack of good chief designers, Andrew Green remains with the team for 2000. The Englishman doesn't have the best of reputations, as BAR have struggled with pace all season. Lastly, Arrows confirmed that TAG Electronics will be staying with the team, and AP Racing Brake and Supertech Engines are staying with Williams for next year. That's all for news, and now it's time to go down to the track as the practice session at Silverstone is about to get underway. Well, if you thought France's practice session wasn't weird enough, Heinz Alfredson leads Mika Hakkinen in the practice session. So Jordan on the pace this weekend, Damon Hill third fastest, then Giancarlo Fisichella, interestingly then John Lacey and the 2 Prosts behind, and then we're down in 12th and 14th. Not good for us at all. We only did 1 lap like we usually do in practice. Williams are way down there though in 18th and 19th. So a poor session for them. And Ferrari 11th for Michael Schumacher and 16th for the last race winner Eddie Irvine. So it could be very interesting going into the qualifying session. We've got Fisichella 4th, everyone out of place a little bit. Minardi in 10th with Marc Genet. It's going to be one to look out for, I think. Let's actually go straight into it with the qualifying report. Williams seem to struggle at their home track with both cars in the bottom 4. The 2 Spanish rookies, Marc Genet and Pedro de la Rosa, both beat their more experienced teammates to qualify 17th and 18th respectively. Both Saubers line up on row 7 with John Lacey beating teammate Deniz, as Olivier Panis in the Prost and Jack Villeneuve in the BAR both make it into the top 10 in 9th and 7th place. Rubens Barrichello just scraped into the top 10 as teammate Herbert struggled to 16th. Heinz Alfredson and Damon Hill complete a very strong session for Jordan in 5th and 6th. Giancarlo Fisichella showed promising pace at qualifying 4th, whilst David Coulthard will start ahead of teammate Mika Hakkinen to the delight of a British crowd. French GP winner Eddie Irvine couldn't find pace at all and will start way down in 15th, whilst his teammate Michael Schumacher will line up on pole position for tomorrow's British Grand Prix. So qualifying's just finished. Very interesting result it was. Both drivers are going to be doing a 1-stop strategy. 2-stop is technically supposed to be faster, but 1 will be safer. And yeah, the results very interesting, I've got to say. Michael Schumacher on pole position, Frentzen dropping down to 5th and 1st in practice, Villeneuve in an impressive 7th. Barrichello set a last-minute lap in to get inside the top 10. Johnny Herbert starting way down there in 16th. We've got Williams way down there again, last with Zanardi. Ralf Schumacher 19th, so an awful session for them. Minardi way down there with Marc Genet being in 10th in practice. He's now dropped down to 17th place. Eddie Irvine, the race winner from last time out, down in 15th as his teammate celebrates pole position ahead of the 2 McLaren drivers. Could be a very interesting race, I feel. So now let's go straight into it. As the British Grand Prix is about to get underway here at Silverstone, we are away and Barrichello easily gets ahead. No, he doesn't. I was about to say he gets ahead of a Prost. And he has done. I think he's got to 9th, so a good start for Rubens Barrichello, making position from the start line, trying to catch up with Jack Villeneuve in the VAR. We're going to have a look at a replay of that now. Gets ahead of Jarno Trulli, I think that was. And that's a poor start for one of the Benettons. No, it's not. Got a bit confused there, but that's Alexander Wirtz ahead of the BAR of Jack Villeneuve. As you can see, Barrichello doing a decent job now in a ninth position. Going on board, Johnny Herbert still down in 16th place. Hopefully he can make his way up the order as well. But it is still Michael Schumacher out in front in the Ferrari. No, it isn't actually. David Coulthard's just taking the lead. Got that wrong again now after Australia, but David Coulthard leads the British Grand Prix. Let's go on board with him. Could it be a second win of the season for David Coulthard? He's been unlucky all year. He hasn't finished a race apart from the one that he won at the start of the year. But he's holding the lead here at his home Grand Prix. And it would be such a result for David Coulthard if he can take that crucial victory at home. He's just defends Michael Schumacher as they go down to Bridge Corner. It's the McLaren who leads, but it's not Mika Hakkinen. Skip on to lap 5 of the Grand Prix. Johnny Herbert advancing his way up to 15th position. He was up to 14th at one point, but he's just lost position, I do believe, to Pedro Diniz. Rubens Barrichello holding on to 9th as he's closing the gap down to Jack Villeneuve. We are going to take him off push, I think, very soon. As it is still David Coulthard out in front, but you can see on the minimap Michael Schumacher is ever so close behind him. We could have a battle for the lead here. Is he losing time? So Barrichello's losing time to Villeneuve, that's not good. It's a big shame there, but I think I've just seen on the minimap Michael Schumacher's in the lead, is he? Yes, he's passed David Coulthard. Michael Schumacher now leads the British Grand Prix and he's coming up to back markers. Can David Coulthard challenge back? We're just holding position in a minute. We can't seem to get... We're losing time to a BAR. It's not what we want. It's not a very interesting race at the minute. We're still 9th and 15th. And Michael Schumacher's absolutely dominating out in front, it seems. But David Coulthard's still keeping a close gap behind. Only 1 second behind the German. And this is just what Michael Schumacher needs to close in on Mika Hakkinen in the championship. But Coulthard could stop that here and help his teammate if he gets past Michael. Has Barrichello just dropped off the face of the earth or something? How has he dropped to 11th? I don't know what's going on here. We're having an awful race, it seems. Johnny Herbert's due into the pits next lap. 2 laps afterwards with Barrichello. Yeah, it's not looking good at all for us. We're going to go back to the battle for the lead. David Coulthard is apparently 12 seconds behind Michael Schumacher. Schumacher's got a big lead. Into the pits comes Johnny Herbert here in Silverstone. Hopefully it'll be a good stop. It's not going to matter too much though. I think we're going to finish outside the points. Yes, again. It's not going to be good for us. We're going to lose some time to Jordan in the championship. There is Johnny Herbert's pit crew waiting for him. Hopefully it'll be a good stop. And don't know what time it was. You can check that over here. It was a 7-second pit stop. Not really good at all, really. But yeah, Johnny Herbert rejoining in 17th position. Oh, hang on, somebody's retired. It's Eddie Irvine. Eddie Irvine's retired from the race. The race winner of the French Grand Prix last time out. He is out this time. And a shame, really. He only finished 2 races this year. He's not going to finish another one. Another retirement, Luca Badoa. So things are getting more interesting here. We're still in 10th. I doubt points are going to be on the card here. It's not looking likely for points. 2 more retirements in Janae and Diniz. The retirements list slowly starting to increase here. Johnny Herbert up to 11th. Don't think we're going to get points. It doesn't seem likely. Oh no, David Coulthard's out. David Coulthard is out. So we have another retirement, and it's another big one. Coulthard's out of the Grand Prix. Barrichello is only a few places away from the point. How far is he behind Trulli? 5 seconds. No, that's Herbert. Panis even... Oh, no, yeah, 41 seconds that he's not going to get points. And whilst we enjoy a pointless race, to be honest, a very unfortunate result it's going to be outside of the points for both drivers, we are now going to move straight on board to Michael Schumacher in the Ferrari, who has come close to victories on several occasions this season. And even though his teammate won a race before he does, it's now finally happening for Michael Schumacher as he wins the British Grand Prix for Ferrari. A great result for him to catch up to the man who's going to finish in second in this race, and that is Mika Hakkinen. So that has been the end of the race. Michael Schumacher wins with Hakkinen second. Another podium for Keller and points for Jordan, which is not good for us. They're catching up to us now. We finished down in 9th and 12th. An awful result. Spain scored some points really. Very tough race for us. Both Bentons getting some points. Wirtz finishing in 6th and a 3rd place for Keller. It's going to look interesting for the championship, I think. It's a shame for Coulthard and Irvine, who started well, and they both retired, really. So, Let's hope for better things in the next race, which will be Austria. So now let's take a look at the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship standings. So in the Drivers' Championship standings, it's becoming clear now Schumacher is pulling away from us and he is closing on Hakkinen. We're still in third somehow, Johnny Herbert's. Barrichello dropping back massively now, and Heinz-Alf Frentzen has overtaken him. But Herbert now getting caught up by Fisichella, who finished third in today's race. Another podium for him. I believe that's his third podium of the season. His third place as well. He's now on 12 points. Fisichella sitting comfortably in fourth, while joint with Ralf Schumacher. Frentzen close behind. Irvine in sixth, despite not, well, seventh actually, despite not scoring. Coulthard dropping down to eighth, and then we're in ninth with Barrichello as well. Hill in 10th. Still a few drivers yet to score, but Hakkinen, his lead is slowly decreasing to Michael Schumacher. In the Constructors' Championship, again the same thing's happening there. Ferrari 14 points. They've really gained to McLaren this weekend. And Jordan are gaining on us actually. It's not looking good for us. We're on 26 points and we're losing points to Jordan. Could we maybe hold on to third? I doubt it. I think Jordan are going to pip us by the end of the season. It's going to be close though. The Team Managers Championship, John Top moves ahead of Alain Prost to second place. Looks like Ferrari finally finding some speed now, with Prost dropping down to third, Ron Dennis to fourth, with Eddie Jordan, Rocco Benetton, Craig Pollock, Giancarlo Minardi, Tom Morganshaw moving up from last, and Peter Sauber and Frank Williams now dropping back down to last again. Very interesting there. So after that pretty eventful British Grand Prix, we have a test session in Monza which we're not going to bother to attend. And we're going to move straight into the next race, which is the Austrian Grand Prix at the A1 ring. Jack Villeneuve won here in the first year in '97. Hakkinen won here last time. Now it's the third year. Could be an interesting race, I think. I hope it's a lot better than the British Grand Prix. There'll be no more announcements to come from us. The news reports will still be happening for the rest of the teams. Not much left now until the end of the season. And we're just about to pass the halfway point as well. I think we already have actually. With a British Grand Prix, so we're now going to move into the second half of the season. Not long left of this first season to go now. Let's hope for a better result at the A1 ring. If you guys have enjoyed today's video, if you have, please leave a like, comment down below and subscribe if you're new to the channel. So much time guys, it's me D-Man96, and I'll catch you guys later.
You pull apart, trying to fight, and I know there's something between us with nothing inside. Nothing at all. You put